You wake up after 8 hours of sleep and you still feel like you got hit by a truck. That feeling right there, that heavy, dragging, can't shake it exhaustion that follows you from the moment your alarm goes off to the moment your head hits the pillow again, that is not laziness. That is not weakness. That is your body sending you a signal, and most people never learn how to read it. I want you to stay with me here because what I am about to share with you completely changes the way you think about energy, about food, and about what is actually possible for your body when you give it exactly what it needs. Let me paint a picture you might recognize. You pour your coffee first thing in the morning not because you enjoy it but because you genuinely cannot function without it. By 10 in the morning you are already counting down to lunch. By 2 in the afternoon you are fighting to keep your eyes open. You cancel plans with people you care about because you simply do not have the energy to show up. You tell yourself you will feel better tomorrow, and tomorrow comes and nothing changes. Weeks blur into months. You start to wonder if this is just who you are now. It is not. And the science backs that up completely. Here is what most people are never told. Chronic fatigue is almost never just about sleep. Research from nutritional science shows that energy production at the cellular level depends almost entirely on the specific nutrients you are giving your body every single day. When those nutrients are missing or imbalanced, your mitochondria, which are the tiny power generators inside every cell you have, they literally cannot do their job. And the result is exactly what you are feeling. That persistent, bone-deep exhaustion that no amount of rest seems to fix. Now I do want to pause right here and be honest with you about something. We have a program linked in the description below this video. It takes everything we are about to talk about and builds a complete, step-by-step nutritional framework around it. People who have gone through it describe the shift as dramatic. I am not going to sit here and beg you to go look at it. If you are the kind of person who is serious about actually changing how you feel, you will check it out. If you would rather keep collecting information and hoping something changes on its own, that is your choice too. But if you are ready, it is down there. Now let us get into the real stuff. Your body runs on a very specific chemistry, and when that chemistry is off by even a small amount, the effects are massive. One of the most overlooked drivers of chronic fatigue is iron deficiency, and this does not always show up as anemia. You can have what doctors call subclinical iron deficiency, where your levels are low enough to absolutely destroy your energy but not low enough to trigger a diagnosis. Your cells need iron to carry oxygen. Without enough oxygen reaching your tissues, everything slows down. Your brain gets foggy, your muscles feel weak, your motivation disappears. And you have no idea why because nobody told you that your breakfast choices might be robbing you of the very iron your body needs. Here is a dramatic example of how this works in real life. Foods high in calcium consumed at the same time as iron-rich foods can block iron absorption by up to 60%. 60%. That means someone eating what they genuinely believe is a healthy, balanced meal could be absorbing less than half the iron their body needs to function. And they go to bed wondering why they feel so depleted. But iron is just one piece of this puzzle. Let us talk about magnesium. Studies suggest that a significant portion of the population is deficient in magnesium without knowing it. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in your body. 300. It plays a direct role in how your cells produce and use energy. Without enough magnesium you sleep poorly even when you get enough hours. Your muscles cramp. Your stress response goes haywire, and your energy never fully restores no matter what you do. The cost of living with this is enormous. Think about what chronic fatigue is actually taking from you. It is not just uncomfortable, it is your career momentum because you cannot think as clearly or work as hard as you know you can. It is your relationships because you are too tired to be present with the people who matter most to you. It is your confidence because you start to feel like a version of yourself that you do not recognize. The cost of low energy is not measured in how tired you feel. It is measured in the life you are not fully living. Now here is where things get interesting, and this is the part most people have never heard before. Vitamin B12 and folate work together in your body to produce red blood cells and support your nervous system. When either of these is low, your body cannot replicate cells efficiently. You feel mentally slow, you feel physically drained. And here is the critical part. B12 is found almost exclusively in animal products. If your diet is leaning toward plant-based foods without strategic supplementation or smart food pairing, your B12 levels may be silently declining for months or even years before you feel the worst of it. And by the time you do feel it, the depletion is deep. Omega-3 fatty acids are another piece of this. Your brain is approximately 60% fat. The membranes of your brain cells rely on omega-3s to function properly. When omega-3 levels are low, neurological communication slows down. You feel mentally foggy, motivation drops. The emotional heaviness that often comes with chronic fatigue gets worse. And again, this is completely fixable through specific nutrition choices. Let us talk about blood sugar because this is the one that most people get completely wrong. If you have ever felt that 2 o'clock crash after lunch, that sudden wave of fatigue and heaviness that makes you want to curl up somewhere and disappear, you have experienced a blood sugar spike followed by a crash. High glycemic foods cause a rapid rise in blood glucose. Your body responds by releasing a surge of insulin to bring it back down, and when that blood glucose drops sharply, your energy crashes with it. What most people do in response to this is reach for more sugar, more caffeine, more quick-hit energy. And the cycle repeats itself all day, every day. Your body spends enormous energy just managing these swings. Energy that could be going toward clarity, focus, strength, and feeling genuinely alive. The alternative is not complicated, but it requires you to understand how food actually interacts with your physiology. Pairing protein with complex carbohydrates slows glucose absorption. Eating fiber-rich foods blunts insulin spikes. Spacing your meals strategically gives your body time to regulate without those brutal crashes. These are not revolutionary ideas. They are the kind of practical, evidence-based strategies that, when applied consistently, transform how someone feels within days to weeks. People who begin addressing these nutritional gaps report the same kinds of changes. They describe waking up and actually feeling rested for what feels like the first time in years. They describe having energy at 3 in the afternoon without caffeine. They describe finishing their workday and still having something left to give to their family, their hobbies, their health. That is not a fantasy. That is what happens when your cellular chemistry is finally working the way it was designed to. Let me give you a very real sense of the timeline here because I know you have been disappointed before and I want to be realistic with you. When you begin making targeted nutritional changes, some people notice an improvement in mental clarity within the first week. Physical energy begins shifting meaningfully in the 2 to 4 week range as cellular stores start to replenish. By 6 to 8 weeks, when the changes are consistent and strategic, the difference in how someone feels compared to where they started is often described as remarkable. Think about what 6 to 8 weeks is. It is not forever. It is not a year of suffering through something difficult. It is a relatively short window of strategic effort for a payoff that ripples through every single part of your life. Now let us address something important. Not everyone watching this is a good fit for the kind of deep nutritional work we are talking about. If you are looking for a shortcut, a magic pill, or a quick fix that requires zero effort, this is genuinely not for you, and that is okay. But if you are the kind of person who is willing to learn, willing to make specific changes, and willing to invest a real amount of intention into how you eat, the results are not just possible. Based on the evidence, they are highly likely. There is a reason nutritional medicine is one of the fastest growing areas of clinical research right now. Because practitioners and researchers are seeing what happens when people stop treating symptoms and start addressing root causes. And the root cause of chronic fatigue, in the vast majority of cases, is what you are or are not putting into your body. Here is what I want to leave you with. You have been living with this for long enough. The exhaustion, the fog, the feeling of falling behind on the life you want to be living. That is not your destiny. Your body is not broken. It is under-resourced. And when you give it the right resources and the right combinations at the right times, it responds. Sometimes dramatically, sometimes quickly, and in ways that go far beyond just feeling less tired. The program linked in the description below takes every concept we covered today and builds a complete, personalized nutritional framework around it. It is not theory, it is a specific, actionable approach built on the kind of evidence we just walked through together. The people who have followed through on it consistently do not describe it as a good decision, they describe it as the decision that finally changed things. If you are ready to stop feeling the way you have been feeling and start building real, lasting energy from the inside out, it is down there waiting for you. The only question is whether you will be the kind of person who actually takes the step.